just want to get banned?
Maybe. Sometimes you want to.
Hi, everybody. My name is Darrenville, and I'm going to be bringing you a Mega Man X3 100% speedrun. And I am joined by BJW, BerlinDude1, and the Shoryukenless Sid. So thank you guys for being here. With that, I'm just going to get it going, so quick reset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Resetting. Love it.
Do this.
Great start.
Ready on time? Okay. All right, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, Darren.
Thank you.
Good luck, Darren.
Good luck, man.
All right, so before I throw it back to them, I do want to give a big shout out to Nero, infamous God Gamer Nero, who did a lot of work on this game just a while back, implementing a lot of task strats and really like giving it a, you know, I guess a fresh paint job in a lot of ways for sure with the speedrun. And I don't know if inspired is too strong of a word, but I definitely like was watching him do speedruns of this with all the updated strats, and I thought it was so cool. So it definitely like pushed me to finally learn this category for real. So yeah.
Yeah, same kind of thing happened with me. Just watching it, loving it, relearning it. This game has a lot of kind of thing. Features the same as X2 and X1. It has the dash lemons, so you notice how he's taking out the enemy so quickly is by using a semi-charge to do some damage, and then follow it up with a dash lemon to get rid of him real quick instead of having to waste a lot of time. Optimizes movement in this stage.
Here's Zero.
Yeah, this is the major point where people are like, oh, this is why X3 is really good. This is one of 2 times we'll get to see Zero, so please enjoy it.
And we have the Zero theme. The Zero theme. Yeah. And Darren is like taking a bonk and using even the saber to cancel the damage to climb up there. And now we fight Mac, one of the Merrick hunters, what went to Merrick to free Mega Man X again.
Yeah, Mac, literally the freest boss that ever was.
Yeah, I'd really love to actually know his origin story. You know, if Capcom is thinking about making a new series and they can't quite come up with something, I got one for you.
You mean him and Green Biker Dude?
It's a Mega Man Mac, dude.
Mega Man.
Mega Man Mac.
Can I get a quick audio balance fix? The game is like 1,000 times louder for me now, so.
And here we have Moa.
Maho, the Mr. Puncher. Is that what we're calling him? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this fight's pretty consistently easy. He's the only boss in the game where dash lemons actually work. Though for some reason the other shots do more damage.
So yeah, you can punch ground straight, or you can punch to you. You never know, this is RNG. But yeah, you can even CFO him with a dash lemon and a big charge. So yeah, now we are just getting the information from Zero that we have to fight again Merricks. And let's do that, I guess. Up to the stage.
Yeah, I guess the routes changed a lot over the years just based on all the items, all the power-ups, revisits and whatnot. But here, Darren will be going into Tunnel Rhino first.
Actually, BJW.
Yes.
I hate to inform you, but 100% has been the same route the entire time we played this game.
I just got exposed really hard. If you want my headset, feel free.
One of the things, one of the major barriers to X3 100% actually is Tunnel Rhino. It's a very difficult stage when learning, so if you do decide to pick up this game after watching Darren's fantastic run, don't be discouraged, just keep trying. And once you get past Tunnel Rhino, work on the other stages.
Yeah, I would say this is a pretty like big barrier for newcomers to this category especially.
Yeah. The biggest problem is actually that all the enemies are making a ton of damage, and you start with 16 HP, and you fight a mini-boss where you have to actually damage boost through him to make it fast. So in the end, yeah, you turn up being really on low HP, even when you're having a really good match. And the problem is, like, when you die after the mini-boss, you get sent back to that part here. So yeah, let's see the double mash skills of Darren.
Yeah, thankfully the top half of this guy only deals 2 damage on contact.
Nice.
And with no invisibility frames, he can just mash it out. You're limited to 3 shots on the screen at once, but if you're sitting in that guy's hitbox, there's no constraints there.
Yeah.
Smash as fast as you want.
Devs just decided he didn't need invincibility, so we take advantage of it. As Berlin was mentioning, everything in this game does a ton of damage, except for their shots. Most of them do 1 to 2 damage. So with enemies, you want to take the damage from whatever they shoot you with in most cases and headbutt them. There are going to be some mini bosses that we want to actually bonk because they only do 1 damage for some odd reason, and their shots do a ton of damage. So most of the time when you see Darren just bonk into something, it's because that does far less damage than what he's trying to avoid. So in a lot of instances, it's on purpose. As you can see, Tunnel Rhino here, he's shooting him with a lemon. As I mentioned, the dash lemon does not work. He's actually setting up a CFO strat, which I guess our resident X2 runner would know.
Yeah, so CFO is named after the first intro boss of X2, and basically what Darren's doing here is firing his first shot, his lemon shot, a bit early such that it connects with Tunnel Rhino right when his iframes wear off. And what this does, this travel time, it allows him to get a head start on his next charge shot, and this allows for more DPS overall.
Yeah, it's literally just a math thing because we're racing to 32 damage, and each.
I almost forgot the fanfare.
There we go.
Nice.
Yeah, clap for that. It's beautiful.
Clap this man.
Yeah, so the reason why we go Tunnel Runner first is because we need the drills right now to get the heart here and visit Buffalo. If not, we have even one more revisit. That's why we did Tunnel Runner first, even when it's one of the hardest intro stages in the Mega Man X series.
Yeah. Coming up here, we're actually going to see, hopefully, one of the more difficult tricks in this game. Oh, there we go. Normally, as you can see, these drills take a long time to break stuff. We're not quite sure what causes it, but for some reason, the drill just instantly destroys him if you pan him off screen at the right time. It's a great trick. It's fairly difficult, but it does save time. Darren just now added this, actually, from the task.
It's like probably the newest strat I've been putting in.
It's really crazy.
There's another empty room. Those rooms will be a bit more important starting with the next stage.
If it's not a vertical room full of 3 enemies, it's a horizontal chamber full of spikes and elevators. It's a great game, but it has some faults.
Now we're coming to a really difficult trick called Bootless.
Yeah. Bootless here is very similar to Iceless in X1. There are a lot of opportunities in 1, 2, and 3 where it could be used.
Fine.
That still saved a little bit of time, not a lot, from revisiting with the boots, which is why we call it bootless. It's intended to go back and use an air dash to get over there. They really want to teach you, you can dash vertically, which takes quite a while to actually activate over horizontal dashes. So we try and avoid it, and I'll talk about the tricks we actually do to do neons or double jumps later when it becomes relevant.
I think it takes like 20 seconds to just do the bootless first try according to going to the boots and getting back at round.
I think it's something like that. Yeah. And about 3rd or 4th jump is where you start to break even or lose time.
Yeah.
And once again, we don't have the weakness for this boss. There's a much easier strat where you can basically stand next to him and jump, but Darren is going to do a much harder time-saving CFO strat. And a lot of his move is very specific to keep him in the corner, because if you're above him, he turns around, thinks you're going over him. Not the best II, but we'll take it because it makes it easy.
Yeah, every time when you jump, actually Buffalo... Every time when you jump, Buffalo thinks you jump over him to the wall. That's why we just actually jump over him, or jump.
Yep.
And that's how you manipulate this AI.
Yeah. Staying above him is what makes him turn around. And unfortunately, Darren mistimed that last one. That's why he turned around and hit him with the ice beam.
Yeah. That's like more of a low percent strat where you can start with the charge shot, then into the lemon, and then get kind of like a full CFO fight instead of using the air dash. But the very last one can be a little bit tight, as you saw.
Yeah.
But I would definitely like to take this time just for a second for anybody that does want to learn this category. Don't be intimidated by it. It can look like there's a lot of crazy stuff going on and a lot of like unique and varied strats. But actually, Just Incredible, as many X runners know, he made an X3 tutorial. This was a while back that he made it, but it still is very good for beginners. It's a good like baseline and a good starting point. So I would definitely check that out if you're interested.
Yeah, the stuff you're going to want to learn and start with is definitely in that video. Even with the old strats, I know it's very helpful and informative to improve even further. So now we're going to Tiger, specifically because the mini bosses I mentioned earlier for just a brief moment, we have Bit and Bite. They show up after you beat the first two bosses, Bit in stages 3, 4, and 5, and Bite in 6, 7, and 8. The reason we are doing Tiger, and followed up hopefully by Seahorse last in stage 5, is because Bite, or Bit, is weak to ice, and Seahorse is also weak to ice, and so is his mini-boss. So we're trying to get him out of the way as early as possible to use ice on him in an optimal manner. Unfortunately, that was the other part where he would have done a what we call no-stop hallway and done a turn back to break that wall instantly.
Yeah.
It's very particular and very difficult.
Yeah, they're both very particular.
Yeah. So here's where we get the word neon from. He'll be showing us what neon means. It's these charged buster shots. Neoning specifically is going to be a double jump used with air dashing that we are going to see very shortly. So do not blink. You will miss it. Keep your eyes open. Oh no.
Oh, that's okay.
No problem.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So he loses a little bit of time to letting him come back down. If it had gone off perfectly, he would have hit him with a neon shot and then mashed ice into him, because it has kind of a particular thing where it'll hit twice because of the pieces that fall on the floor will actually stay in the air and hit him again and just be destroyed.
Yeah, that's another one of those task strats. Usually you would just jump up, throw the 2 ice, and go up and air dash for the other 3.
Yeah.
But,
Darren's route is incredible, but a lot of these strats you don't need to learn right off the bat.
Definitely not.
Good drill usage here, by the way. When drill connects with an enemy, it kind of disables their hitbox for a short period of time.
Yeah, I think it's roughly a second.
And here's an improved fight if we get Bit
Hey,
right now.
Bit.
Yeah.
And
Arrow improves
that's
that.
great RNG, actually, to get him out of the way early.
Yeah. So like he started with a charge ice, puts ice everywhere and do a second charge to him. That was the strat trying.
Yeah, he missed the charge,
It's no
unfortunately.
problem.
Yeah.
But he wanted to show like you can cycle him 1 time less, like you can use 1 less cycle.
One important thing here
Yeah.
is he does not want to kill Bit or Bite with the weakness.
Yes.
He wants to avoid the explosion, and killing both of them will lead to basically you being unable to do 100%.
It depends. It's just the mini boss, so it's basically a 20-second time loss plus a much more difficult boss in Doppler 1
Nice
versus
double
God
neon, by
Karma
the way.
Machine. Yeah, that was the first double neon in here. What it is he's releasing the charge shot the same frame. He is jumping while air dashing, and then right after that dashing again, because you get it back. That's why this is such a great movement tech. And then immediately shooting and jumping on the same frame again while still dashing. So he gets 2 jumps and 2 additional air dashes.
Wow, wow, wow.
Tiger here is particularly simplistic. He can give you some pretty bad patterns. Hopefully we won't see any of those. I spoke too soon.
Okay, that's good.
That's not bad.
At least it was just 1 charge.
Just 1 charge. That's good.
So now that we've got Bit out of the way, we're still going to do the same boss order, but it ensures that Seahorse is going to be a lot faster because we have plenty of ice to go around. We need to get an item, we need it for the mini-boss to make him much quicker, and we also need it to kill the boss much quicker. So that's why we didn't want him in there, because we would have lost a lot of ice to him.
All right, Neon City. Let's
Yep,
go.
beat bod.
Beat booed.
Beat booed. With the, this stage, like you said, is Neon City. We're going to have quite a few vertical sections, so we're going to just enjoy neons all over the place. Some small optimizations, but some fantastic looking movement.
You see that Darren is also using the drill to pass the enemies. It's like when you put a drill into an enemy, in that case, like you don't bonk him. So that's why he's using a lot of drills, especially also on this stage.
You can drill something, and for whatever reason, it removes their hitbox for about a second. A lot of the weapons have some peculiarities. Most of them are just straightforward, but some of them you have to kind of know stuff. I'll explain the tricks with them coming sooner. Now just enjoy this climb.
Neons everywhere.
Yep. Those neons where he avoids jumping off the wall save barely any time, but I'll be danged if they don't look cool.
Yep. And every neon is 2 inputs on the same frame. So
Yep.
just be very careful with them.
It takes a very long time to get used and master it, so if you're, like I said before, if you're picking up 100%, don't worry about it. Learn it as a neat trick and just run it casually with some of the older routes.
I'd say overall, there's only like a small handful of neons that like at a beginner level will actually save you a bunch of time, whereas the rest of them are pretty minor. And most of them are in the catfish stage to get the heart and the armor.
Yeah, it's a lot of vertical sections where they are applicable. So we're going for more of a... thank you for being the worst boss ever. As you can see, he's trying to charge and shoot him with a buster shot, so it's a similar type of CFO thing. It's more so that... Please, boss, please.
Sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah, he can just decide to go into an invincible phase, and the only thing to knock him out of it is Ray Splash. So what he was attempting to do was use the charged buster to do damage, which actually gives him less invincibility, and then followed up by Ray Splasher and offset that to get to the magic number 32.
Yeah, and if he doesn't do any of the invincibility charges, like the damage lines up perfectly too, so it's super fast if you don't get any.
I mean, or the boss can be awful and he can take all your time that you've saved up till now. So we got Toxic Seahorse. This is the stage I was referring to where we want to save as much ice as possible. Since we have 2 bosses weak to it, that this will save a lot of time. And we also have some nice vertical climbing sections. I think we have some time for donations while Darren is doing this fantastic movement tech.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. We've got $100 from Corky Fireball that says, Mega Man X was the first video game I ever beat. Have played it since I was 4 years old. Had to donate during the X block. I've got $30 from Teppo that reads, Mega Man and task blocks back to back? Take my money and let's get that Pokemon task going. I've got $100 from Keizaron X. Had to donate for such a great cause and during the Mega Man X block. Keep up the great work.
So these letters that he will be collecting throughout the rest of the stage are actually robots that we're never going to see except for H. Later on, he's going to pick up the normal armor. It won't actually show up as a letter, but we actually need it to use the robots. There is literally one spot we need to use it. This is the mini-boss I was referring to. Now you see why we need the ice.
Yeah, if Bit was in this stage, we would have to fight Bit with the ice and then do the ice block strat, and that doesn't leave us with enough for Seahorse, so then we'd have to use Buster on the mini-boss, which obviously is slower.
Yeah, just cling to the wall and mash as fast as you can.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, there are some kind of peculiarities with boss weapons. The ice has a particular one where if it's a ground enemy, they can drop health, or if they can drop something, it enforces a health drop. So if you're new to the game, don't forget that ice is your best friend.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch the other reason that we want ice. This is also very simple, but very difficult at the same time if you're doing it optimally. Okay.
Free round.
Yeah, that the second round was actually to set up for the second quick, I guess, part of the quick kill. First one, notice he laid the ice spike lower. He has a weird invincibility thing where he just becomes vulnerable to everything for a certain amount of time. The higher you hit it, the more. That's why he had to do that last one at the top of the ceiling, so he had enough time to actually finish off his health with the ice.
Yeah, thankfully, if you mash too fast and then mess up that quick kill, you can back it up by just going back over and shooting another ice up top.
Yeah, it was what he did, or just jump over him with ice over and over again and bunny hop the fight over. So we're gonna watch some more great movement tech, and I think we have time for a few more donations.
Yeah.
Awesome. I've got $75 from Neolite that says, Mega Man has been a huge part of my childhood, the Battle Network and X series in particular. I'm excited to see them get destroyed. Let's go, Darren. Donation towards TaskBot and honk. I've got $250 from Bindi97 that says, longtime GDQ fan, but this is the first year I've been able to watch seriously. Have been loving the runs this year. My brother introduced me to GDQ, and today is his birthday. Extra $250 to say a happy birthday to Keeper. Happy birthday, Keeper.
Happy birthday, Keeper.
Happy birthday, Keeper.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Do I have time for one more?
Yep, sure.
Awesome. I've got $70 from Myria that says, meow, and Huggles from behind the couch to all my friends in the X community.
Hi, Miria.
Hi. So what you just saw for a fraction of a second there was the normal armor. For whatever reason, it's not actually a capsule, it's just the armor. A lot of people think you actually have to pick it up or touch the floor. As long as you break it free, you obtain that armor permanently, so you can finally use ride armors for the rest of the game.
I did break it free, right?
You did.
Okay.
Pretty sure you did.
It just like
Unless-
happened and I wasn't even thinking about it.
Yeah, you get to the point where you don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah.
Hopefully we won't find out otherwise later.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah, so moving into this last section is pretty straightforward. We're just using some dash lemons to destroy these blocks and go into Hornet. This boss is interesting. His weakness is Gravity Well. His secondary weakness is S-Blades. S-Blades is much faster, but we don't have those, so we're going to use fully charged Gravity Well to drop him on the ground. And then he has this weird tick where after he hits the ground, he actually becomes able to be damaged. So we hit him with an additional Ice Fang to do 1 more damage, so we don't have to wait for this Gravity Well right here to do the additional 2 ticks. So it takes about 1 to 2 seconds, depending on where he decides to go.
Oh, dang it.
That's part of the risk,
Yeah.
but it does save time overall.
That was about to be a really good fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally my one contribution to the game is Akateru calls me Sid the Hornet Tamer.
Sid the Hornet Tamer.
Yeah.
And the reason why Darren was using the pause menu also was because you directly get the damage. If not, you would have a really long animation of the boss that he would take like 4 or 5 seconds. Now.
It's the optimal swap. You can either go above or below Gravity Well to just switch to it with the left or right weapon switch. So it just happens that Ice is easier because he'll break it instantly, so you should be able to instantly turn back. This is the stage. Darren mentioned that Neon saved quite a bit of time. Not particularly this one, but you'll see in a moment where it would save a lot of time and movement, because this stage is very vertical. You do a lot of upward climbing. Here specifically is a good time save. So this is one of the few times you'll see upward air dashes because they just cover more ground and allow us to get up that hole and grab the heart piece 100%. We need it, right?
Yes.
And additionally, we also need it for the armor. You can alternatively charge the Gravity Well, but that's slow. So we're just gonna do a couple more neons, right? Right.
Highly recommend the up dash press neon over doing a double.
Yeah, that is quite definitely the easiest way to start learning it, using up dashes and then practicing the movement. If you come into the X3 Discord, other than watching the tutorial video, I'm sure if you're having any issues, we'll do our best to help you. So this is the part where we get into Bite, starting being able to show up. We kind of don't want him to show up here because we have to pick up an extra weapon energy, but it really doesn't matter much.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we don't have to worry about it. So
Crawfish is good, yeah.
I guess we got time for 1 donation.
Awesome. We've got $75 from Coropia that says, must donate for my robot overlords. Bring me more tasks.
All right. So this is the robot. Now we're sure he definitely got it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we'd be in quite a pickle. We actually can't break that floor without the armor. So this is one of the other, like a lot of these weapons have a lot of uses. This ice shield charge shot actually is really good. It lasts for quite a while, and the secret to it is if you have the dash boots, you can air dash to instantly break it if you want to get rid of it. So for beginners, it's a great thing if you accidentally charge it or want to get rid of it, just air dash and it'll break immediately. Now we're going to watch a quite difficult catfish fight. He kind of does whatever he wants. We hope he works with us. It's not so bad in 100%. Any percent, it's a crapshoot.
We see Darren actually using the CFO strat, what he's like swapping weapons between Buster and
Acid.
Yeah, Acid, correct. And when Wall Catfish is actually in
Oh, no.
middle.
So we made a discovery a few years ago. This part actually, if you use Charge Drill while he's doing this, it's supposed to do 5 damage. If you let the thunder hit him, it does 2. So we get to witness what an any percent run looks like when it dies.
Yeah, oops. Yeah, if you get the charge drill before the electricity comes down and hits him, it will do 3 damage. Otherwise, it does the normal 2. The only saving grace there I noticed is that he did have like an even number amount of damage, so...
Oh, is it 3? I thought it was 5.
No, it's 3.
It's
Was it?
3, yeah.
Wow, excuse me, I'm wrong. Sorry about that. I'm lying to the audience.
So we are going to the last Merrick.
Yeah, we're going to get S-Blades. We're going to use a little bit in the final stages, but unfortunately, 100% has to go here. And as I was kind of chastising BJW earlier, the reason the route is stuck is because we're trying to avoid mini-bosses, and the way we have to do revisits is really specific to the weapons, what appears in the stage when you do certain things. You can skip a mini-boss. You have to have Ray Splash specifically in this stage because S-Blades is the only other weapon you need, and I will cover that further when we actually get to the point where it comes up. The reason he grabbed this armor was just to get a heart tank, so you have time for a couple of donations, I believe.
Thank you so much. We've got $15 from Chris from Florida. Greetings from the front row. Mega Man X is always a good time, and I'm sure the race is going to be great. Donation goes to making that Pokemon task run happen. We're running out of time. Shout out to the host, Cthulhu. You're doing great. Thank you.
So we have Bite here. As you can see, he is weak to Charge Drill as well. And like I said earlier, when Darren takes damage from something, it's quite specific. He wanted to get knocked out of the drill so he could set up and charge for the charge shot to just do 2 more damage. As we said earlier, Bit and Bite, we do not want to kill them. If you hit them with their weakness for the last shot, they explode for 10 seconds, so we get a 10-second penalty for each one we mess up. And if we do both, we might as well just reset because we get a much harder boss in Doppler 1 that makes this game pretty much unbearable. There is a category where you do fight it, and I do not suggest ever learning 97%. Not quite as fun as 100%.
Yeah, we're going right now to the Vile fight. We actually have to fight him to beat this game in 100%. And yeah, you will see an incredible, precise fight, hopefully, from Darren right now.
If this works out, this fight will be insane. If it doesn't, it will still be pretty great.
Yeah, the energy usage here is pretty scary.
He will literally use half an energy if this works out to end this fight. That is how tight. And if he runs out of Ray Splash, he cannot kill this boss without it. Because we need to kill Vile here to get Zero Saber. So if he dies, not only will we miss 100%, it also makes the game super slow. Just not fun. Would not advise. As you can see, he used the charge shot above with very specific positioning.
Okay.
He can make it hit him 3 times. A lot of what we're doing is manipulating him to jump into the charge and immediately break it so he takes increased damage, and then follow it up with a Ray Splash. The old way we did it was like 10 charge buster shots and then just Ray Splash. Didn't really think too much about it, but over the last few years, we've come a long way in this game.
Yeah, that is definitely a very complex fight. Even the one that was done before Nero's more optimized fight was still pretty difficult. That was a little sketchy for a second because the one that you shoot up into the air that hits 3 times, I kind of shot a little late, but it still got him.
Yeah.
So let's go.
Those shots are always in the same spot, so if he did shoot it too late, he would have totally whiffed and it would not have turned out right. Nice escape.
The 28.
Pretty good. Pretty good. So we just have a little bit of movement through the next section. Using Parasite Mine actually removes an enemy's damage box. I'll talk more about the weapons later. For now, it's just going to be a little bit of vertical movement and Triad Thunder. So we have time for a few more donations.
got $80 from Disco Cat that says, "Hi everyone. I wish good luck to all the runners of Mega Man Block and a smooth go for TaskBot in its 2 games. Let's kick cancer's butts. Honk honk." I've got $100 from Cronkleberry that says, "Here's to getting more TaskBot because our robot overlords demand it."
Okay, so we did have the quick kill for Seahorse earlier that I kind of waited to explain just in case something happened like it did. Triad Thunder here is pretty free. This boss just decides he can take damage for a full 2 seconds. So with the right setup, we can do this.
Damage every frame. Yeah,
Damage
beautiful.
every frame. Yeah, the Charge Thunder does damage every frame, so it just murders him because it's already his weakness anyway.
Yeah, there are actually 2 bosses who have a kind of weird iframe situation. What helps us actually is Seahorse and Crush Crawfish.
Yep.
Yeah, this one's way easier than it looks. But yeah, it still looks cool all the same.
Yeah. It looks swaggy, but it's not actually that difficult. A beginner can pick it up in several minutes, maybe 10 at most. So as you can notice, we don't have a helmet. Our health seems a little bit low. I think we might be short a sub-tank. I'm not sure. So we're going to do a couple of revisits. Unfortunately, we can't change it no matter how many times we've tried to reroute. At best, the heart tank in this stage, particularly Gravity Beetle, we could do some tricky things with zipping in there with Zero, but it's definitely not RTA viable at this point. Maybe sometime in the future, I highly doubt it, because we need these blocks to be broken by beating another boss.
They only break when you're beating the Hornet stage.
Yes. That's part of the reason why we have to come back, because we need gravity for Hornet to make it at least bearable, plus bit and bite routing. This game is, even though it doesn't seem that complex, the route is set in stone because of that complexness where this is an issue, that's an issue, this is an issue. Triad Thunder here, I didn't note it in the Vial stage, but you can mash the button when it comes out and it will actually turn over. That's why you saw him continuously use it in that hallway. So if you're confused as to why that was happening, that's it. If you just tap it once, it'll do this and discharge. We're just gonna have some movement back through the stage, go pick up the helmet, and I'll explain why it's the last thing we get after some more donations.
I've got a $5 donation from Quinn19 that says, "Choo choo, let's get the train rolling." From Wizon, I've got a $250 donation with no comment.
Nice comment.
Thank you, BJW. I'm glad you could contribute to this. But the reason you're seeing him charge Thunder is because that's the only way to drop those rocks. Yet another reason the route is stuck in limbo. And we're picking up the helmet, and it is going to display why it is probably the worst upgrade in this game for anybody that actually knows what they're doing.
Yeah, so in the 100% category, the last item you get is the item that shows you where all the items are. It's pretty sick.
Shows us this nice little map that has nothing marked on it because we're done.
Yeah, we got everything.
Yep.
I like the map. X3's a Metroidvania.
Yeah, right.
Yep. And the cool thing is it doesn't show up in the Doppler stages, so we don't have to waste time to that anymore. Yeah. Doppler 1 here has kind of a complex route where we swap between a lot of boss weapons. I think something I neglected to mention earlier, you'll see in some of the other games where they will climb the walls by kicking. The reason we've been climbing ladders actually is because this game has a fairly, I guess, odd feature that makes sense when you think about it. When you climb ladders with the boot and the buster upgrade, you actually climb faster, which is much quicker than climbing the wall by jumping off of it. So that's why we've been using it the entire time. Hopefully Darren won't get confused in X1 and continue this trend.
So what we're doing right now is like we charge the blades and then jump over this enemy to kill him from the behind, so we are closer to this Zero friend, because if not we would have to walk all the stage. In that case, we are much closer to him.
That walk takes forever if you call it the walk of shame. Zero was nice enough to destroy the generator that was making the roof fall. If you come back here later when you're playing casually after you've gotten the saber, he actually won't do that. That's why the ceiling keeps falling and you have to break the generator. It's one of those little touches, playing it casually.
And important is that we have no...
Yeah, the reason he's using this charged ice is why I mentioned earlier. It actually makes you makes the enemies drop health. This capsule, obviously it's a weird color. I'm not sure what's going on. It gives us all the upgrades. Each armament has an additional upgrade chip, so each stage actually has a capsule. Most of them have to be accessed with the robots. That's what they were intended for. Some of them you can get to without it if you know some glitches and stuff. But he just got the gold armor, which is all the upgrades. A health recharge if you stand still. A stronger armor that I'm not sure, I think it's kind of buggy, doesn't work as intended. Hyper C, which is a charged buster shot, which we will use quite significantly later, and I'll let Darren explain why it's so great. Casually, it's pretty horrible. Yeah, if you bonk into something, it resets you back to just the buster shot, so you don't get to use the saber as much. And he gets double air dashes. Unfortunately, we really can't take advantage of those at this point, but it looks cool. This is the boss that we needed to not kill at least one or the other bit and bite for, because he's so easy, as you can tell. Darren did a little setup to hit him with a charge shot to do a little bit more damage with the charge ray splash instead of just busting him down. It would have taken a little bit longer.
Yeah, fairly dangerous fight in any percent, but in Hundo, you can just stick to the right wall and shoot ray splasher at him, easy peasy.
And now we are going to ask Zero for some help here in a moment. We got to do a little bit of climbing first, but I think for once he might actually be useful killing a boss. I'm not sure. If you play casually, he refuses to come out and fight any mini boss or any boss the entire game. Oh, this is rough.
The impossible enemy.
I'm getting infinited.
That was the final boss, apparently.
Okay.
Sigma showed up. So the Parasite Bomb gets rid of the hitbox, but in instances like that, you get into a really bad spot. So we're gonna rely on Zero here for a minute to hopefully he can help us out. I hear there's this bee hanging around that's been causing some problems. We gotta talk to him. Mosquito.
Yes, mosquitoes.
I'm sorry, all I know is what a hornet looks like.
Right.
The mosquito's winning so far.
Yeah, that mosquito is mad. Oh, that's
double.
Interesting.
Nice. Double zero.
He actually,
Schrodinger zero.
as cool as that looks, it actually saves some time.
Yeah,
it's not just
just
for
for
the glitch.
swag.
Yeah.
It does save time.
So Zero is decidedly down for the count. He's telling us something. I think he needs to go back for repairs. I don't know. Just give us the saber and get the hell out of here, man. So now we have the Zero saber. It is a fantastic weapon. With the upgraded buster, it also shoots a blade. The blade itself will do about 18 damage over a little bit of time, and the saber does 16. It'll come into play in the boss refights here shortly.
Oh, that's not good.
Hopefully we can get up this wall without too much issue.
Nice.
Good job.
Yep. This is one of the major time saves that neons end up working in. If you can get that and catfish, save quite a bit of time. Other places, is minuscule. Hopefully we're gonna see some more glitchy madness right after this fight, specifically because of the way Darren climbed that wall, actually. His people need him, though.
Okay.
Normally, if you dash in that section, the game glitches out, but you have to actually skip this explosion. Unfortunately, the game just decided to say no. The way he climbed the wall was actually very particular to have an enemy leave the screen at a certain spot. It tends to cause the explosion skip. For some reason, 1 out of 10 times, the game just decides you didn't do it right.
Yeah, that climb was actually set up pretty much how it should be, but I've also had it where I've had like a decently set up climb where I should have gotten it and I still don't get it, so that must have been one of those instances. Sorry, GDQ.
Yeah.
No explosion skip today.
Yeah. So with this section, we're gonna watch a couple of the boss fights and let Darren explain what exactly is going on, because he can do it a lot better than I can.
Yeah, this is a very interesting set of refights that is derived from the task, and what it utilizes is the Hyper C conservation glitch. You'll see at the start of every fight, I'm gonna immediately shoot to the left, and while that's registered on screen, I'll actually wall kick and shoot, not necessarily at the same time, but pretty close to the same time. And what that does is take me up to the next charge, which is a saber. But it doesn't use the ammo from that second shot, so I'm still at only 2 ammo that I've used. And give me 1 second.
Yeah, he's got to concentrate and actually make sure that he does hit the glitch because his routing's very specific to utilize it.
I'm just gonna wait. Yeah, that wasn't too great, but anyway, so once we're at the saber charge, we'll throw the saber and then right swap back to Buster right as we do that. So effectively, that doesn't use the saber ammo either. So at the end, we've only used 2 ammo for our first saber. And while we're waiting for the actual charge, while we're charging up, we take 3 bonks. In Buffalo, we take 2. But during that time, we're refilling our Hyper C so that at the start of every fight, we have full Hyper C to do this.
Hyper C is refilled specifically by taking damage while you either have it on and it's not active, or you have it off. Some of these bosses do refill a little bit more for some reason, but as general, it's either a half or 1 energy per bonk.
Right, like Buffalo, it only takes 2 bonks. For Hornet, if you get hit by the Sting, it only takes the 1 bonk, so they're a little bit different for each one of them.
Yeah, the old route here was very slow because we didn't know about this glitch. This is one of the major improvements in the last year or so.
Yeah. The routing for these refights is also pretty tight for obvious reasons, the way that this is working. Our health, I'm gonna have not enough health to get through this perfectly. I'm gonna actually have to get some health only because of, I think, an extra bonk from Tiger. I don't know if it was just the 1 extra bonk, so I might actually be good, but the routing of this is very tight, like I said. And
yeah, if you do it perfect, you end up with either 2 or 1 health, depending on which strat you're doing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that thing he keeps landing on the center actually drops health refills, energy refills, or lives. The only thing that you can make it drop a specific thing is smacking with a saber to get a life and instantly breaking it. Why? Why beat bot? Why?
Beat booed.
Beat booed.
Gotta get it right, man. That's why he's angry.
Okay, I guess this is my fault. So he's just gonna have to actually take a risk and see if the pillar he lands on will decide to give him health or not.
Well, I'm just gonna do it at the end with Triad Thunder, but
Okay.
I'm a little surprised I got that first saber because that is a very tight window if he decides to do the rainbow charge at the start and still get the saber. But I didn't get the second one.
So one of the things when you're learning this that you may not know, where we were talking about that rage phase for Catfish, you have to be very careful about hitting him with the blade because it does 18 damage, which will put him into the rage phase. So he'll lightning in the middle, and you'll lose a lot of time on this refight.
Yeah, so this is a big part of the routing too. As you might have seen, I kept my Hyper C out throughout that entire fight until the very end. So instead of the usual 2 ammo that I used more, but because I still have to kill Seahorse and Crawfish after this, I'm gonna be taking some more bonks on my way to Doppler. Oh, wow.
Yeah, Saber is nice, but this is much faster.
Yeah, this is much faster for Seahorse, but you also need to take these bonks to refill your Hyper C, which is pretty precisely routed out. It's 3 bonks to Seahorse, 1 to Crawfish, 2 in the hallway, and then 2 more on Doppler, and that will line you up perfectly. So, yeah, there's a lot that goes into these refights. Definitely, if you're thinking about learning this category, I would actually recommend learning these refights because the sooner you start learning them, the better. I feel like the timing on the timing on the inputs for dumping your second shot and not having it come out and getting the Hyper C conservation is a little finicky. Like I said, it's not exactly at the same time you shoot and wall kick, but it's like a little offset. So like, I don't know, just getting that feeling is very important.
Yeah. So one of the other things I guess I failed to note is that acid, as little as we use it, if you're learning this game, it actually enforces a weapon drop refill from enemies that can drop stuff. So ice for health, acid for weapons. The game makes sure that you can get power for whatever you may need. For Doppler here, he does have a little force field that will instantly refill unless he is dead. So what he's doing here is making sure he doesn't use that barrier and then making sure the second shot comes before the barrier can go up as well to do the 32 immediately.
So it's also an audio cue too. You can kind of hear that swing when he gets the Hyper C full all the way up. So if you notice, you heard it on the second bonk, and I immediately switch, do the Hyper C conservation, and now I'm at 2 ammo, down for Sigma, and I'm going to throw a saber right at the start of the fight and immediately get it back again. So that's kind of how awesome the Hyper C routing is in this end game section.
Yeah, if you're doing optimal route or even close to optimal route, it can be very tight. Don't be afraid to go in there with sub tanks initially to get used to it, but be ready to give up the sub tanks when you're ready to do runs.
Okay.
There's just a little bit more movement, and then we're gonna do Sigma, and I think we can throw it to a donation after this while we enjoy a nice, pleasant bath, right?
Yeah.
So Sigma here can be quite troublesome. Hitting over that shield can be a problem. And as you notice, he's facing the wrong direction. It's actually quicker to hit with the back of the saber because there's a little bit of a damage hitbox on the back that comes out the quickest, so it saves a few frames.
All right, this final fight has one of the swaggiest yet most difficult strats, so let's go.
If we do this right, we're going to see the fabled triple neon.
Quadruple neon.
Quadruple neon.
neon.
Oh, man, the corrections. So at this point, we don't need Hyper C anymore, so we are just going to use it as much as we can.
Definitely didn't see it. I didn't get my dash right away. I wanted to dump my first 2 charge shots, and then...
Yeah. At the very least, we avoided getting bonked, which would have reset us back to regular Buster, which means we would have had to dump the Buster shot and the second shot, and then use the Saber.
So yeah, that's Mega Man X3, right? There's nothing else after this?
Yeah, I mean, this is where the game ends, right?
Yeah, I could just probably stand here, right? Like, there's nothing's gonna happen.
I mean, I think we got time for a donation. Apparently, we're waiting for something. I'm not sure. Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we got time for a donation.
Awesome.
Don't worry about this.
I've got $100 from Senaturin that says, best of luck to the runners on the game I played the most on the PS1. And don't forget to put that incentive towards that bonus game. We're almost there.
Yeah, this game runs very well. I'm not sure if it's used to running this lava. Maybe this isn't a consistent thing.
Yeah, so anyway, shout outs to Pi and Tom.
Yep, time. You normally just have to jump to that edge, and then as soon as you get on the ledge, he'll start walking on his own, so...
Yeah.
You can die to that lava if you're playing any percent. 100%, as we just showed, it's pretty much impossible.
Yeah, take a little bath, you know. Clean up X, make his gold armor a little more shiny.
Yeah, man, we had to get the shine in there. Get a buff on.
So anyway, this is the ending. We got Doppler sacrificing himself to get the Sigma virus out of our way so we can teleport out. That is going to do it for us. Thank you guys so much for commentating, and thank you, GDQ, for having me and being able to show off at least some of the newer strats. Like I said, they're pretty difficult, so I'm not surprised I missed quite a few of them. But anyway, next up is X1 100% race, so that is going to be sick. Definitely stick around for that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Darren, for that amazing Mega Man X3 run. We're gonna roll into some donations here. I've got a $50 donation from Turtles that says, I don't know if I've ever seen a TAS Pokemon run, so let's do it. Silky Z also donates $50 and says, here's my ticket to the donation train, plus 9 friends. It's nice of you. I've got $5 from Dr. Wiley146 that says, the X series. For once, I'm not the bad guy. Spoiler, the real bad guy is cancer, so let's team up to stop it. I've got $100 from Q-Strike. Love Taspot and love Pokemon. This was an easy donation. All right, we are gonna throw it over to an interview, so I'll see y'all on the flip side.
Yeah, we got this. We got this. Hey guys. Hey. Keizaron here. And I'm here with my much better bearded compatriot here, ChurchnSarge.
Hey, Keys, how you doing?
I'm pretty excited to talk to you about this. So we always talk about how the event has so many volunteers and so many people that are helping out. And it's always nice to be able to kind of share what they do and, you know, give people at home a better idea of how well-oiled the machine is. So, Church,
Keys.
what's an average day for you?
So an average day is, so I am one of the managers here for the check-in desk, so it's not too bad, it's pretty easy. We're the main event desk for the event, so we hand out badges, kind of give information to all the attendees.
Hand out Red Bulls.
Hand out Red Bulls. Make sure everybody's on the same page and everybody knows kind of where to go, what to do, what we offer here.
And then you extend beyond just the physical events, right? Like you do stuff outside of the events. Would you like to let people at home know what's going on?
Yeah, so outside of the events, I actually help with the hotfix. So I moderate the YouTube channel, handle processing all the videos, all that stuff. And I also do volunteer coordination. So I help figure out all the volunteer schedules and all that kind of stuff for my department, and I help out a little bit here and there with the other departments.
And then I believe you mentioned that you've actually ran a game at GDQ.
I did. I ran Dead Cells last year, I believe. It was a race with Skaz and Studio, who is now Big Honkin' Burgers.
All the names were switched to. Any games that you'd like to maybe try and get? I hear that you might be interested in like big rigs racing or
big rigs.
Big rig. Yeah.
Definitely
not at all.
Nothing else.
No.
There's definitely not another game that I would like to run.
Can't. I mean, just looking at your shirt and apparently there's a Grinch figure behind you.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he came from.
I'm not entirely sure. So how long have you been involved with GDQ?
So I've actually been volunteering every event I've been to. So I started in SGDQ14. And then after SGDQ16, they asked me to help out with the volunteer coordination. So I've been helping out with the volunteer stuff since then, and with check-in. And then about 8 months ago, right after, it was actually during SGDQ, I started helping out with the moderation and stuff.
Right. Now, I do have to ask you one more question before I steal Sent's job.
Okay.
How do I get my beard as big and nice as yours? I've been trying for like
lather,
4 or 5 months.
Rinse, repeat. And
so the shampoo bottles don't lie.
No, they don't. It's actually true.
Okay.
And a little hint of stealing Christmas.
I don't know if I want to do that, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pretend to be Sent because I'm always really good at that. Let's talk about prizes, huh? So
Prizes? All the attendees at GDQ liked prizes a lot, but the Grinch did not. He hated the prizes the whole prizing season. He would much rather have donations without a reason. That's as far as the Grinch has done this rhyme, unfortunately. He had 5 minutes.
very, very good. Well done. I think the claps are for you right now, I believe.
But the Grinch hates all the prizes currently available, as nice as they are. Prizes like the wonderful Sony prize. As this camera shot reveals the man hiding behind the couch. Which is, of course, a $75 minimum donation from now until the end of Control. Please ignore the man puppeteering the Grinch. He does not exist. Prizes like a wonderful Mega Man helmet string out from Making It Nerdy, a $30 minimum donation from now until the end of The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker. A wonderful prize made out of string, unlike Sent, who is clearly not here, and made out of flesh.
No, I only see the Grinch.
And of course, an amazing custom PC from the Yeti. Yes, that Yeti. It is a $100 minimum donation from now until the end of the marathon, and the specs are magnificent. I am very grumpy about them. And you, yes, you, out there, I'm trying to point at you, but my hands are made of fluff, should head over to gamesdonequick.com and check out the tracker for all the information on upcoming prizes and incentives and, of course, speed runs that you can put your donations toward.
Thanks, Grinch.
I will suddenly lose the ability to talk now.
Well, sorry that this is how our interview went, but thanks for letting us know stuff, and thanks, Grinch.
You know, it
back
kind of got
to you guys.
stolen, but...
I don't know if we should shout out the Grinch or not, because I think those prizes are pretty great. But let's get back to donations, shall we? Master Doe sends us $5 and says, $5 train for Taskbot. Tycon has sent us $25. Beep boop. Must please task overlords. Goodman Jones with $100. Here's another 100 for blue task. Honk. Bob 1342678 sends us $20. I need to see the frame perfect walking of Pokemon Blue. I've got $80 from Cryfire. You can never have enough tasks in your life. Matroid4 has donated $200 with the comment, "These X runs have been awesome. Best of luck to the runners in the Mega Man X race." Are you guys looking forward to that race? Yeah, you are. Radmon has sent us a $100 donation with the comment, "Been watching GDQ since 2015. Spent all this week wandering around my office telling coworkers to check it out. Let's go." EGP Noodles donated $25. Mega Man X Block, my favorite. It's always so heartwarming to see so many gamers come together to support a great cause like PCF. Thank you all to the GDQ staff who make this event possible, and best of luck to all the runners. Honk! Dimitri230 has donated $25. Let's make Pokemon Blue tasks happen. And you guys, we are so close to that Pokemon Blue task. We are less than $100,000 away. So please, if you're gonna donate, now is the time. Get that in, because who doesn't want more games, right? Retro Game Bar has donated $62. Greetings from Retro Game Bar. We've been watching all week here in Portland, Oregon, and loving every minute of it. Thanks to all our customers who help us donate, and of course a huge thanks to all the runners and staff at GDQ for another amazing marathon. Strix has sent in a $500 donation, unfortunately with no comment, but thank you so much, Strix. Lucy Turtle has sent in $25. Thank you to the GDQ team and everyone who has donated. Koala Tums has donated $2,112. For my mom, who beat cancer, and Neil Peart, who just lost his fight. Let's make the future cancer-free. Good luck, runners. Bank to Sun sends in $10. Did someone say Pokemon and TAS in the same sentence? Yes, please. Tournament City Games has sent us a $75 donation. You guys are awesome. Big shout out to all the runners and staff for making this happen. We've had you on all week, and we're proud to support the cause. Honk hype. All right, guys, we're going to throw it over to a Twitch ad. I'll see you soon. Welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed that ad. We've got $100 from Game Junkie 89. Says, TaskBot requires more money, less cancer. We've got a $50 donation from Hippo and Mrs. Hippo. Good luck, Clipper One. You worked very hard for many months, and we're very proud that you made it to GDQ. Always try your best, and give Squirtle a hug. Silex has donated $100. Let's beat cancer. Oh, and let's get that Pokemon Blue task bonus run as well.